Hello and welcome. In this video, I am going to cover the portal of Microsoft Azure. Basically, this is almost the end of September and 2023, and the videos that you have seen over here where our trainer are using the practice lab and demonstrating the Microsoft Azure portal is few months old. So we have also recommended our members to go with a pay-as-you-go subscription. As long as you delete and stop the services, you should be good with the charges, but do not leave anything running because then that's where you're going to see a very big bill from Microsoft. So with that, let's go to the new portal. You already know how to get to it by portal.azure.com, and that's something you already know from the previous videos. So just like before, it's almost the same type of portal. On the left side, you have menu. When you click on menu, you get the same type of resources, all services, dashboard, home. And then Microsoft started to remove some of the things like, we used to see Virtual Machine Classic and App Classic and things like that. You probably won't see that. And it depends. Maybe your portal might show, but in our new ones, we don't have that. So on the left side, the big difference that you're going to come across is the way Microsoft is going to call Azure Active Directory. Now they call it Microsoft Intra ID. Now Microsoft documentation basically, mentioned that there is no difference in how this is gonna work, or it's not like a technical change. They just want to call the naming. A lot of the namings that are associated with Microsoft Azure Active Directory, many of its services is going to call now Microsoft Intra ID and whatever in front of that. So you can go to the documentation and learn about the way Microsoft have changed these names. So you may want to kind of go over the document. Just go to Google, type Microsoft Azure Active Directory, Microsoft Intra ID, differences or documentation. You're going to come across many articles where they explain everything about the name change and what they meant by doing this change. So before we jump into a specific Microsoft Intra ID, on the left side, you see that everything is almost the same. But here's the portal. You see on the top, you can search a specific service, resource, docs, and many other things. You can search over here, and in overall your portal access, you can basically search that. Sometimes this search can be useful when you're searching for a specific thing in your access because there's so many things and virtual machines and IP addresses, networks, so many things can be buried down. And then this could be a good area for you to search, especially when you're new and you're trying to figure things out, then you can directly come here. And let's say you want to look for a JSS test machine that I'm looking for that specific one machine. And I just know the test part or remember the test part of it. So if I just type that, you see it kind of pull test resources and it's like a virtual machine. So I know that it's coming directly from here as well from the virtual machine, but this is another way for you to search things when you are looking for something specific in overall subscription or the portal. Right here, you will see this Cloud Shell. Now, when you're a beginner and you're getting started in cloud administration in the early stages, you don't work too much on the shell. You may do copy paste kind of things, but in the beginning, I would highly recommend you stick to your course, your projects, your labs, and just kind of follow exactly what it teaches you. And later on, if you get into more advanced skills and you start understanding how to use shell, which is basically bash or PowerShell, and this is where you're going to start doing more of automation, easily doing things or doing things in a little bit more. I would say like if you're doing a deployments where you need to do things a little bit easier and faster than just doing it on GUI, then you will be using this type of shell. Now, in another way, basically, you need to know PowerShell and you need to know how to run commands, which definitely not going to recommend in the beginning. And also, do not just go here and start turning things on. This is going to basically start charging you. And even if you go ahead and remove this access, you still have to go to your resources and remove certain things that are associated with this specific storage. So if you're new, I wouldn't do this because you may not know how to delete things and charges will come to you. So for now, there's a shell, just kind of like understand about it, go to Google and learn more about it if you want. But we're not going to use this in the beginning at this point. And we have this setting option. Now, do remember that companies may have multiple subscriptions. They may be using one for development. They may be using one for one company, another company. There could be a service provider. They could have multiple things going on. So you could come here and switch different type of subscription depending on which one is the main one that you use for your work or for certain projects. So you would be able to do that. You can also click here and then change it from the portal profile as well. Here on the left side, you see a parent. If you don't like the white color, you can change it to something more like blue, dark. You see, if I'm changing it and apply, everything is now, dark. This is really up to your way of how you look at things. You see the top changed over there, and if we go back to blue, it's going to change to blue. And here you can even get to this type of colors as well if you feel like you want to see it like this as well. So I'm going to actually go back to blue, keep things default. You can also change the language by going to language and region, and you can change it from here. This will show your information, and this is the sign out and plus notifications option. So you could put a time in there as well. By clicking here, you see you can add a time. And also under my information, you can do restore default settings. Everything that you do here, you could get back by going to default settings. Sometimes you do a lab environment and you change so many things, you may want to go back. And you can also do a delete all settings and private dashboards. That's if you do anything like custom dashboards inside this portal, then that will also be deleted by using this one. You can also export the settings over here as well. So now let's go back to the left side. This is where most of the things happen. Creating a resource, home. Home is basically where we went before. Like that's the first page that you get in. And then you see all services. This is where you will see everything from Microsoft, Azure. So you can come by category. You can come to a specific area. So if you click on AI plus machine learning, everything that Microsoft offer in AI services, you're going to see it right here, machine learning right here as well, analytics. Then it's really up to your company or you how much you want to go deeper into it. Because, like I said, every single area is just a career on its own. If you go into analytics, of course, that's not just a normal IT professional. This is a different career. This is for people who does a lot of data, big data, things like that. So this is not something people will call you a cloud administrator while doing these things. So don't get too scared that when you see so many things and you're like, oh my God, I got to learn all of this stuff as a cloud administrator. No, you don't have to. You do, however, help with the teams who need to enable something. So, for example, if a database team or an AI or development team tells you to add a specific feature for us and you need to give them access, then yes, you have to go to documentation. And basically, Microsoft will provide documentation for everything that you see over here. And also, anything that is outside of what Microsoft offers, those companies, those products, those services as well have a lot of documentation. And because they are mostly paid, they come with their own services, they come with their own vendors, they come with their own experts, and they help you out. So if you see something here that you're coming here again and again for your company or for your whatever reason, for example, let's say log analytics workspaces. If I feel like I have to come here again and again, I can click here to create. So basically, I can come here and create that option. This is for me to take an action towards that specific service. But I can also come back here and do a favorite. So if I do a favorite, I click on this, I can see this log analytics is added on the bottom of my favorites. So that I don't have to go back and search again and again in all service. Because Microsoft knows that some of the application services and things left that from all services are heavily used by companies and people, they have already made certain type of application favorite for you. So you see how it's like when you put on your mouse on top of it, it gives you information, description, some of the trainings on top of that, services and documentation on the left side. Everything is right there for you. So this is how it works on the left side. You get all this information from all the resources. Here they have a dashboard as well. You can come over here and create your own dashboard, or you can edit the currently added ones. So for example, if I come here, I can customize, and you see how these different type of dashboards will show up here. Like I can move it up like this, and then I'm going to say save. Or I can come back here and I can remove the dashboard. I can copy it. I can configure the tile settings. So I can name it different. And I can create a new one if I like to. If I can add a new custom one too, I can add specific ones that are already in there. For example, I want to see the Azure inventory, and I can name it here and then add it, and then it will show up right here. So it's going to be up to you how much you use the portal, depending on how you want to utilize it. You have some options right here. And this is the overall portal currently in 2023. September is almost finishing. I'm sure by the next few months, you're going to see probably a new one, and we'll make a new video for Portal on just a walkthrough on Portal to make sure that you're also up to date. Thank you.